One of the things I wanted to talk to you about was, and I think it's unfair, but it happens. You're constantly being compared to the Dance Theatre of Harlem of old. And this is a totally new company with a totally new focus.
Hmm.
So, yes.
Sometimes, yeah, I do think it is something that people do. Just seeing as how there's been such a large gap since the old company was around and since the new company has started. So I think people still do have that same idea of what the old company used to look like, and it's. I mean, I'm hoping that we're working towards changing those views and those opinions about us as dancers, because we are. I was never fortunate enough to actually see the old company, so I don't have an actual image of what they looked like or what they. So I'm constantly trying to bring myself and the truest version of myself to the stage as I possibly can. And it is hard to always be compared to someone else. Just like anyone who steps into any role that anyone else has done before, they're always constantly compared to their predecessor. So it's unfair to put that amount of pressure to constantly have to like live up to what other people have done before you, when everyone only just wants a fair chance to be themselves and to give their best performance and be the artist that we can be on stage.
Do you find that that you'll do a part and someone will say, "You remind me of this ballerina"? Or...
Yeah, I get that all the time, especially because we have Andrea Long who teaches us now, but she was in the former company. And like every time I do something like Return, they compare me to Andrea, which is flattering, but at the same time, it's like I kind of want to, make a thing for myself. I want them to recognize something special that I do when I do Return, when I do the solo work. I think it's sometimes a little unnerving, only because I feel like we work so hard sometimes, and then to still be compared to the company that was before sometimes doesn't give us a goal to push towards for ourselves. We're constantly trying to recreate something that already happened.
One of the, I have to say, breakout roles that I feel happened for you, and you're doing it this season, is when I saw you do Christopher Hudgens' piece.
Mm-hmm.
I had seen you perform before, but I thought that somewhere in there you acquired a depth, and it took you to a whole other place. I saw it on Fire Island, in fact.
Oh, yeah. Actually, Fire Island was the first time we performed that piece, and I think that was like 4 years ago. So.
Yes.
Even now when we do it, it's come so much farther. We've put so much more of ourselves into the piece. When we first did the piece, I kind of had a hard time getting into that kind of character. And I think that kind of role only gets better with life experience. And so like 2 years after we did the piece, my grandmother passed away. And so now every time I do that piece, I take myself back to how I felt when I lost her. And that gives me such like more insight into what Christopher was thinking about when he choreographed the piece, and I can kind of bring my own emotions and real and genuine emotions into the piece instead of trying to act a role or try to have some idea that's not genuine and try to portray it.
Well, the same thing I feel happened with Donald Byrd's piece. I saw it the first time when you premiered it to Joyce, when it wasn't Dance Theatre of Harlem yet, and I thought, well, I love the piece. I think it's a little too long, and I'm going to say that it breaks the fifth rule of Doris Humphrey's Art of Making Dances book. All ballets are too long, and it does violate that. But in the same sense, I think that I've seen it. I saw it last season. You guys are kicking butt and taking names. It was wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you. Donald Byrd's piece is very challenging, mostly for the fact that there's no counts. So, especially in the very first section when the girls are like, giving it their all, it's very hard when you have 4 different people who move in different ways and try to get them to do one cohesive movement at the same exact time with no counts. So I think that's one of the most challenging things with his choreography. But also I think now that the Dance Theatre of Harlem company is back, we have some stronger dancers than we did with the ensemble. So it's really nice to to be able to push the limit even farther.
Yeah, I mean, that first time when you saw it at the Joyce, that was our first New York season ever as the ensemble. We had been touring nationally, and all of the things that we had done in the ensemble were older company pieces that we had been doing to train us in the Dance Theatre of Harlem style, to get us acclimated to dancing with each other on stage, and to get us to become a unit. And when Donald came in, it was like a brand new experience. It was like, this is what we're doing now, and we all have to step up to that level, and we have to push ourselves and challenge ourselves to be better if we want to get into the company, because that's what we were doing at the time. We were all trying to, make this company, bring this company back at that time. So, now that we're in the company again, as she said before, we have different life experiences. We've grown so much since then. So we are able to challenge ourselves even deeper into those roles. That ballet, for me, one of the things that he always said to me was that I have to be beyond myself. I have to be bigger than myself. I had to, draw all of the attention to me while there's 4 girls over here doing all of this, intricate footwork, and then the men are on the other side of the stage, doing all of this, amazing jumps and turn, all of these, really powerhouse steps, and then I'm in the middle by myself trying to, hold the attention, but then also make a statement at the same time. So I think that's what we're doing right now as a part of the company as well. We're holding that tradition, that legacy that Dance Theatre of Harlem has had for so many times, but we're also, transcending that image, and we're also, trying to create something new for the future.
Well, here we are, we're facing the next season. And this is going to be a great season. It's a city center, it's a big stage, it's a big house, and it's New York.
Yes.
If you can make it here, you can make it
anywhere. I'm so excited. The first time we performed at City Center was Fall for Dance last year, and that was, just an experience in and of itself, just to be around all of these other amazing companies. And City Center is such a great venue. Dance Theatre of Harlem has a tradition of being there for so many years, and it's nice to have that opportunity and that chance to get on that stage and tear it up.
So what are you looking forward to from this season? I know you're doing so many wonderful new things, but what are you really looking forward to? What can't you wait to get up there and tear up on that stage?
There really are so many things, because our rep is so diverse. We get to do a lot of different things. We get to do Balanchine, Nacho Duato, Christopher Huggins, Ulysses Dove. So we get so many opportunities at DTH. So I'm excited to be able to have the chance to really make these things, happen for myself. We've been training really hard. Ashley and I put ourselves through boot camp and have been, trying to get ready for the season, because we know, it's important. It's hard,
You two do a lot of work together, don't you?
Yes.
This is why I wanted to interview you, because there's an intimacy that develops. There's a friendship and a family that happens with the dance company. But then there's another level that happens with your partner.
Mm-hmm.
Especially someone who is your partner consistently. You know when they're injured, you know when they're tired, they know the same with you. They know when something personally happens for you that's not great, and then you've still got to muster up something and go out there and perform, and sometimes those are your best performances.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's been times before we go on stage, I'm like, Devon, my shoes are dead. And he's like, okay. And he knows what that means. I'm like, you need to
hold on just a little bit more.
So, just having that kind of communication and having somebody that really understands you and, knows your body and knows what you need from time to time and day to day and hour to hour even, the beginning of the day is totally different than the end of the day. The first ballet of the night is totally different than the last ballet of the night. And just to have a partner that's really sensitive to your needs is like everything to a dancer, especially a female ballerina, especially on the point shoes. You really just need to have a partner that's consistent and just sensitive. So I'm glad I have a phone.
I usually describe being a partner as especially if it's a good partner, as being a platinum setting around a perfect stone.
It's amazing. She's, when the ballerina that you're working with is so strong and so, makes everything so effortless, it makes the partnership so so much easier when, you know, both people, like when you really have an actual tangible connection to someone. You know, she's become like a sister to me since I came to DTH when I was 19, and I didn't really know a lot of people here. So like, you know, over time you really do have that bond and that connection. And like you said, it's, you know, it will be there forever. You know, you see Virginia and Keith, and you see, you know, the connections that the friendship that they still have, you know, because they were, you know, they danced together. So it's wonderful to really have that.